Dr. Wade Rowett will introduce our ACPE Excellent Educator Award for Isaac Njuguna. Scott Earwood and Kelly Cooper will make the presentation.
I'm so thankful I'm on this side of the microphone with my brother Isaac. He knows too many things about me. Isaac and I have been colleagues in many relationships for over 4 decades now. When he first became a CPE supervisor at University Hospital, and I was a young punk of a professor at Southern Seminary with Wayne Oates, we would send our students. And your story touched me. Thank you for that. And gave me a new line. I sometimes say to people that when the worst thing you expect happens to your family happens, and you show up in the hospital hoping you're not going to get bad news, but you get bad news, and you want someone to come and be at your side and to shepherd you and walk through those moments with you, CPE clinical educators train those people. They train those people to be there with you, and he could well have been trained, or she could well have been trained by Isaac. Isaac has trained, I'm guessing, I don't know that he knows, well over 1,000 individual chaplains in his time, maybe more than that. Isaac, contrary to what he will tell you, is not from Hazard, Kentucky. I've heard him say that so many times. I went to Hazard and they didn't know him. He's from Kenya. And Isaac has been a pastor in West Africa, right, in Kenya. Came to Louisville Presbyterian to study and stayed with us. I believe we need to add to the introduction in here, he got his MDiv and your D.Min from Louisville Presbyterian Seminary. And Dr. Njuguna served as Director of Clinical Pastoral Education and Chaplaincy at University of Louisville Medical Center for 40 years, 38 years in that position, and has distinguished himself as an educator. As I was searching for words to describe Isaac, it came to me that maybe the words of the students that I have sent to him would be the best words to share with you. Students have said things like, Isaac saw me when I couldn't see me and helped me to see me in a fresh way. And he has that kind of ability. But how many of you have had a unit with Isaac? Anybody? Look at the hands. You know what I mean about when he looks at you and says in a broken English, help me understand. And you know he understands all too well. And it's you that he's helping to understand. They've said he is so wise that he sees you before you see yourself. He has a great sense of humor. Those of you who will be around him long enough, and most of the time, it will be 3 or 4 sentences later before it hits you what he has just said and what he has just done to you. I really, really appreciate that about you, Isaac, and so do the students. One of the students said to me, I went into CPE to find myself, and I lost myself for quite some time. And only toward the end did I ultimately begin to find my new self. And those of you who have worked with Isaac, you know that Isaac has a way of wrestling with students. Isaac has a way of calling students to a place that they question themselves in a way that they would grow. So I have a new metaphor for you tonight, Isaac. I think Isaac is an angel of the Lord. An angel of the Lord in the sense that Jacob wrestled with an angel of the Lord and found his blessing. And you have been that angel of the Lord as not only a theological educator who changed the minds, but as a theological educator who transformed the lives of so many chaplains. And Isaac, it is a privilege to be your friend. Isaac is now on the staff at St. Matthew's Pastoral Counseling Center, helping with our CPE program, and says he's going to retire completely in 2020. Is that right? But it's such a blessing to have Isaac as a friend, as a colleague, and as a theological educator in this community. We congratulate you on receiving this award.
I am not prepared to say anything, and since I talk with a tongue, I like to tell people I also have the gift of interpretation. So if you do not understand me, I can interpret myself. One of the things that makes me feel very privileged to have been nominated for this award, because I worked with Oates at the University of Louisville. We were colleagues, we were friends, sometimes we fought. But one thing that I remember about Oates is not related to CPE. In 1985, I went to Kenya to bury my brother who died in a motor vehicle accident. Those who knows me, when I came back, those who knows me know when I'm in a crisis, I tend to go to my cave and I like to be left alone for a while. And when I came back to work at the University of Louisville, Wayne saw me in the garage at a distance, and I saw him, and I began to run away from him because I did not want to be asked about my brother. I had not come to that point that I wanted to talk, but he ran after me and caught up with me and ministered to me that time that I wanted to be visited. And thus, I remember that more than I remember all the other contributions in my life educationally. One more thing that I would like to say, I invited one person here in this Mark Royster, because my first unit of supervisory CPE I did with his father. And his father, from my perspective, was a very gentle person, and the way he supervised, he was pastoral. Those who know me know I was abrasive and crazy at times. And Paul Royster taught me that you can be a prophet and a pastor in the same person. You can be both, and therefore, it helped me to evolve like that. There was one final story I want to tell, and then leave and let's go on. But sometimes I used to look at my craziness in terms of CPE, supervisory, and think, what was I thinking that time? And I remember one student from Southern Baptist Seminary who was doing CPE, a very good guy, sweet, everything you can think of a person. Finally, I looked at him and I said, wow, you are sweeter than Jesus. And everybody thought that was very cruel, and I myself later, why did I do that? 10 years later, after he had graduated, was living in Georgia. He and his wife had come to that point where they needed to go to a therapist, and they were going to therapist. And then one day he came back to town and he sought me. He came to thank me for alerting him to his sweetness, because this had become a code word in their marriage where they are not being authentic with each other. And that has, when I feel bad about some of the way I did things, it reminds that there was something good that was happening even when I did not know. Thank you very much for this award, and I appreciate everything.